Most people pick strikes, deltas, and expirations by feel. They look at the premium, shrug, and click sell. I try to put a little more data behind my trades. I use a repeatable system that removes emotion and guesswork, keeps my shares safe, and still harvests premiums on stocks that I am happy to own. Today, I'm giving you the full breakdown. Not just what I pick, but why I pick it and how each decision fits into a closed-loop system. Please remember, this is not financial advice. This video is designed as a training aid based on my own lessons learned to help you along your journey of learning these complex systems. Every covered call decision I make balances three competing forces. Premium. How much do I get paid today? This is the reward that I get for selling the contract. Protection. How far can the stock move before I'm in trouble? This is my buffer zone for the duration of the contract. Probability. The statistical chance I keep my shares. This is the control. A higher delta increases the likelihood that your shares will be called away. Most traders chase the premium payout, which can be very advantageous in the short term, but they tend to ignore the other two, protection and probability. That's how you get assigned early, lose shares you wanted to keep, or end up rolling out of sheer panic to hold onto those shares. My rule is simple. Maximize the premium you get without drifting into a high assignment probability. That's the core concept. Everything else is just the mechanism that enforces it. The following are some data points I use to define the environment. Stock price, delta, expected move, expiration cycle, volatility conditions, calm, choppy, trending. These inputs tell me what's possible before I decide what's optimal. Decision 1 is the strike selection. Delta is my starting point, not premium, because delta tells me the probability of assignment. My zone categories are as follows. A delta of 0.20 to 0.25 gives me a higher share retention rate. A 0.25 to 0.35 delta gives me a strong premium with moderate risk. And a 0.35 to 0.45 delta is where I can be aggressive to sell something I want to sell, not my default, but this is the best way to offload shares you no longer want to own. Then I check the expected move. My strike must sit outside the expected move for the expiration I'm choosing. If the stock's expected move is plus or minus 3%, I want my strike 3 to 5% above the current price. This keeps me on the safe side of volatility rather than in the turbulence, where premiums may be higher, but the risk of assignment is greater. I use what I call the volatility runway. I find the highest theta and fastest decay 7 to 10 days before the contract expires. 10 to 14 days is where I find the best balance and stability. I find trending markets and stable deltas between 14 and 21 days. And 30 plus days is where I go if I want distance. My default is 7 to 14 days because it gives time to manage the contract and collect a good premium while doing so. I always try to target fast premium decay, make frequent adjustments, and lower exposure to macro events. Overall, these are my clean visuals for the wheel strategy. If the stock is running hot, I push out to 14 to 21 days to reduce delta and widen the buffer for assignment. I will roll the current contract when any of these conditions hit. Delta is greater than 50, stock price within 1 to 2% of my strike price, extrinsic value less than 25 to 35 cents on weeklies, or a major event is approaching, such as earnings, consumer price index, or the Federal Open Market Committee that can drive prices up or down. Rolling reduces delta, harvests new extrinsic value, and pushes my strike price higher, all without giving up control. These tell me whether the trade matches my goals, premium, assignment probability, and cost basis impact. If the outputs don't align with my intent, I adjust the strike or expiration and rerun the loop. This is why the system works. It's structured, predictable, and manageable. Step 1. Check delta first. Delta tells me the risk zone before I even look at the premium. Above 0.35 is considered aggressive, below 0.25 is considered conservative, and 0.25 to 0.30 is where I find a balanced sweet spot. This sets the tone for the entire trade. Step 2. Place the strike outside the expected move. If the expected move is plus or minus 3%, my strike price target will be 3 to 5% above the current price. This keeps me ahead of volatility instead of inside it. Step 3. Choose the expiration that matches the environment. Calm market, 7 to 10 days until expiration. Choppy market, 10 to 14 days until expiration. Hot trending market, 14 to 21 days until expiration. Expiration is not about preference, it's about volatility. Step 4. Run the outputs. I check. Premium. Is it worth the trade? Assignment probability? Am I risking shares unnecessarily? Cost basis? Am I improving or hurting it? If the outputs don't match my goals, I adjust the strike or expiration and rerun the loop. Real-world examples. Example 1. Stock A, price $420. Expected move plus or minus 2.8%. I want high share retention, so I target a 0.22-0.25 delta. The expected move buffer will be a strike price around $435-$440 with an expiration 10 to 14 days from now. Let's go over another example. Let's say stock B has a price of $30. Expected move is plus or minus 1.2%. I want premium. I will target a 0.28 to 0.32 delta, a strike of $32 to $33, and an expiration of 7 to 10 days out for fast decay. These examples show how the system adapts without ever losing structure. This is how an engineer approaches the wheel strategy. Structured, repeatable, controlled, no hype, no guessing. In the next video, I'll show you how this system behaves in different market conditions, calm, choppy, and trending, and how I adjust strikes and expirations in each one. This has been Precision Explained. See you next time.